Hey there guys, so it's July, and I have on my automatic TBR, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 books, 13 or 14 books automatically on my TBR for this month. 3 of them for sure I will read because I have to. 1 of them I already have. It's going to be a long month, so let's get into it because this video is going to take forever and I hope that it is not longer than I think it is, but you guys know how long it is. I don't. So let's see. Anyway, so let's just get right into this because this is going to take me a little while and I'm going to be long-winded at certain points, so let's see how long this takes. So for the first 3 books that I have to read this month, they are the 3 books that I have to read for the end of my semester for my Shakespeare class at my university. So the first one I have already read because I read it this week, and that is Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. I finished it this week for class, so it goes in July. So I finished it July 1st, so it goes in July, not June, which will help my alphabethon. We'll see. I'll talk about that in a little bit though. So read this. Not gonna talk about how I thought about it, but I have already finished this. So there's 1 down out of my however many I have. The second one that I need to read is Macbeth, which is technically a reread for me. I read this, if you guys remember, I read this back in my British literature class in high school, and I enjoyed it, but we'll see. This is technically a reread though, so at least, you know, I get 1 reread out of my Shakespeare books rather than they're all brand new, but we'll see. And then the third and final Shakespeare book out of all 7 I've had to read this semester, I think, is Tempest by William Shakespeare. Interested in this one. It is by far the shortest of all of the Shakespeare stories I have had to read for the semester, so we'll see how different it is and whether I enjoy it or not, but we'll see. So those are those 3 Shakespeare books. Next, into the plethora of Rick Riordan rereads that are still on my shelf because I am a couple of months behind, but I'm gonna get caught up this month. I'm not gonna promise it, but I'm gonna get caught up this month because I have full faith in myself that I am able to do it. One of which I am already almost done with, and the other I am a third of the way through. So I'm making my way. So the first of which is The House of Hades by Rick Riordan. I am literally so close. I have, let's see, I think I have just over 100 pages left in this book. So I have about 120, 130 pages, which I fully intend, I think I can finish this tomorrow night. So this will be done fairly soon. I've done an interesting thing with another book in this pile, where I read a point of view section in this, and then I go to the other one. I read a point of section in this, I go to the other one. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, which is nice, to kind of break this one up so that I break up the mindset of each character, which is fun. The next one, you may have guessed, is Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan, the 5th and final book in the Heroes of Olympus series. I have, like I've said this before, I have not reread this book since I read it for the first time, basically right when I started my booktube channel. If you guys look back, I have a review up of this book. I have not rewatched it myself because why would I do that? Watch an original booktube video of myself? No, just don't. Just no. But I have not reread this book since I got it. So I'm very interested to see how my feelings have changed, what plot points I've completely forgotten about. So this is going to be fun to reread this. And again, I am very hopeful that I will be able to get through this book no problem this month. So the other one that is still on my TBR, but I am a third of the way through, is Percy Jackson's Greek Heroes by Rick Riordan, technically by Percy Jackson, but yeah. But yeah, as you can see, I'm about a third of the way, fourth of the way through. About a third of the way through. And yeah, it's nice. So basically what I've been doing is I will read a point of view chapter out of House of Hades, and then I will read one story in here. And I'll bounce back and forth. Because this is a lot to take in when you're reading story after story after story after story. So breaking it up like that is kind of nice. Although I'm not looking forward to reading Hercules' story in here because it's like 75 pages long. And they're like textbook size text. Not size, but like page filled. Like, I'm not looking forward to that. But we'll see. We'll suffer through that when we get there. It'll still be fun. So yeah, this is the other one that was technically my that was my June book to reread. So then on to the new reread that is my July reread for Rick Riordan, and that is The Red Pyramid, which is the start of the King Chronicles reread. But again, I have not reread these books in 7 or 8 years, at least. This was middle school time. This was Hunger Games, Percy Jackson. That's what I reread. I reread this book, this whole trilogy. I reread this trilogy so much, and I remember next to nothing because I haven't reread it in ages. So I'm really excited to reread this trilogy and see how it lives up to my memory, and because I know I'm going to enjoy it. I just know. And I'm really excited to get back into the Egyptian mythology because I haven't read about Egyptian mythology since I read these books. Whereas like Greek and Roman I know off the back of my hand now because I've reread Percy Jackson over and over again. So I'm very excited to get to this reread at some point this month. We'll see. So that's all my Rick Riordan books. Yes, I am technically 3 books behind, but I don't see that being an issue this month. This month I'm already kind of at a point where I'm rereading quite a bit. I am comfortable with where I'm at on all these books, and I'm excited for this month because it's the end of my semester at school, but it's not, because summer semester is just all jammed into 12 weeks versus 15. So it's the last month, but it's also a month that I'm really ahead in my history class, so I still don't have as much homework as I have been having. So I'm excited about the Alphabethon this month and all those pieces. So right now, I'm just going to plug in the Alphabethon stuff before I get into the rest of this, because the rest of this kind of leads into my Alphabethon TBR. So for the month of July, as an Alphabethon event and as a host, one of the co-hosts, we try and read the whole alphabet, so A through Z. Do you have to read it in order? Absolutely not. Am I going to read it in order? No. I am a mood reader, as are most people that I know, and so having that rigid schedule, which maybe one year I will try and do that, but for this year, with how my reading mood has been recently, I don't want to be like, okay, the next book I'm going to read is this, and it's going to count for this letter. So it's going to kind of be, I'm just going to read this month, kind of keep track of what counts for what letter, but every book can count for like 3 in terms of like where you put it. So if I'm short on one section, I'll just put it in another one and move things around. So, but that's more on my end, not what you guys need to know. So anyway, so for kind of how I handled my TBR for this month, I didn't want to go ahead and just pick a book for every letter because that just seems too rigid. So what I did was I took all 83 books that I have on my current owned TBR, and I already have them on a Google Doc. So what I basically did for myself, just so you kind of know my process behind what I did, I took all those and put them in another document. So it was a brand new Alphabethon document, and I went ahead and sorted them and put them by what book would count for every letter. So there's many books that do count for 3 different letters. They count for, so I'll just say the of Poseidon, of Triton, that trilogy, which I only have the first two, but whatever. That trilogy counts for O, A, and B because of Trident starts with an O as in title, and then first and letter of both first and last name count. So I put those in all three spots and things like that so that I knew my options for every letter. And then what I did was I looked at my shelves and picked top 5. So I picked 5 books that are kind of a wide range of story and genre, and was like, okay, these are the top books by top 5 books I'm going to try and read this month on top of everything else that I'm doing. Just to kind of give myself some guiding points for where I wanted to go. Now, this does not include 2 other books, one of which I am in the middle of, and the other of which is an automatic read for me this month, but I didn't want to include it with my Rick Riordan rereads because it is a new read, it is not a reread. And it's not by Rick Riordan, so it's not part of those. So I'll talk about those 2 books first, and then I'll get into my top 5 of books that I would like to get to as a part of the Alphabethon this month. So, the first 2 books that I'm going to talk about are Royal Bastards by Andrew Schwartz. I am halfway through this book, and I'm still very much enjoying it. I have not picked it up for a month and a half now because I've been focusing on Rick Riordan stuff. So this one kind of fell by the wayside. Does not mean I'm not going to get to it. Does not mean I'm going to not order the other 2 books in the series once I'm done with this, as long as I'm still enjoying it by the end of that, but I don't see why I wouldn't be. But I just kind of put this one to the side because I wanted to make sure I had time to spend on it and wanted to put time and energy into both Hunger Games and Rick Riordan's books. So that's why this got put on hold. Not part of my top 5, but still included in this month's TBR. And then the other one, guess you're probably not going to be surprised, is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, the prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy. This is an automatic for me this month. I did not want to include it in my top 5 because I felt like that was gypping the top 5 and not giving that its fair opportunity to hold its own. So this beast of a book, compared to the other Hunger Games stories, is at the top of my TBR for this month. But I will not read this book until I've almost gotten caught up on Rick Riordan. That is my top priority for this month because I'm behind. Flat out, I'm behind. I got behind on the books because I didn't have the audiobooks, and I didn't realize how much I had relied on the audiobooks for those stories. And on top of that, I also then started a Hunger Games reread alongside losing the audiobooks. So it was a lot of things. So this is an automatic for me this month. And I don't see how this will be an issue at all to get through this month. So, for sure, all of those. Now, into my top 5 books. So, I'm just going to go through these. They are in no particular order, no particular desire. They are just stacked up. These are just the top 5 books I would like to get to for the Alphabethon that are just different. First being Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. As you guys know, I tried starting to read this 3 years ago. Put all my little stickies in because when I worked at the dealership, when I would bring a book to read at work, I would sticky note it so that it would be kind of a progress bar for me. And have not read a single word in this book. I sticky noted it, which will be very interesting peeling those off when I get there. I don't know how that's going to work. But yeah, so I really want to get to this because I think it's going to be different. It is the first book in another series that, again, I haven't started because I have a habit of that. So, one of the top 5. The next one is The Selection by Kiera Cass. Again, another one that I have been trying to start this trilogy for a very long time, and I think it'll be a very easy trilogy to just breeze through. I don't know if I'll read the additional books that were written recently. We will see on that one. But just yet another book that I want to get to that should be a pretty easy read for me and just an enjoyable read on top of that. The next one is a more adult book, so Landline by Rainbow Rowell. And again, just a different story. I recently picked up this audiobook through my library, so I'm going to try listening to this one, which may be a good thing because it's about a phone call, I think. I truly don't remember any of these plots anymore. I just don't. Like, I bought books a very long time ago, and I don't remember what they're about. So we'll get to this at some point this month, and pretty short too, so should be able to breeze right through this one. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. My allergies are, right now are just bad. The next one that I want to get to is Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. I finally want to get to this book. Again, you guys know it's been on my TBRs before for a very long time, and I just have never sat down. So just another different story, more superhero based technically, and also just a character that I've wanted to read this book since I bought it. That's why I impulse bought it like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, however old it is, and just haven't gotten to it. So that one's on the list. And the last one, it's kind of an obligation, not obligation in any way, but it's An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, and this is on my TBR because I haven't read it yet, and the sequel comes out next week, and I haven't read the first one yet, so I have to read it. I just have to. I have to get to this book this month. I just have to. It has to happen. Will it? I don't know, because I've had this book since it came out. Like, I got or pre-ordered one of the signed copies, and I never read it. So I don't know. Whew, that is all of the books for this month. It's a lot. Will I be able to do it? Who knows? Am I going to try? Yes. But we'll see at the end of the month how I do. Like I said in my wrap-up video, if you didn't watch that, then I will restate it here. I am going to be uploading a separate Reading Rush video, more towards the start date of that, which is the 20th through the 26th of July, going over challenges and what books I want to read per challenge and all those sorts of things. I mainly don't want to do it right now because things could change drastically in my reading life in the next 15 days. Like, it could be something where I'm like, oh, I haven't read any of the books yet that I wanted to read, so I'm going to include some more of those. Or it's going to be, I've finished everything and I need to pick 7 new books for this TBR. I don't know yet. So that's going to kind of be played out based on how the month goes. So I want to wait to do that TBR until a little bit closer to. Normally I'm able to be like, oh yeah, I'll just do it really early. Now because of Alphabethon, it just makes everything more crazy because I could read all the books that I wanted to originally read for all the challenges, and I'm a mood reader, so I don't want to have to like schedule something and then just wait, because then it's going to make me not want to read the book. So anywho, that is it for this video today, guys. I will see you guys all in my next video soon when the Reading Rush comes out. Let me know down below if you guys want me to do vlogs again, because I haven't done vlogs for Reading Rush 3 years now, I think. 2 or 3 years now for the Reading Rush. I have not done vlogs. So if you would be interested in that, let me know. If people spark an interest, then I'll look into it and see if I'm able to do it. If not, I'll just read through the week. No harm done. So anyway, that is it for this video today, guys, and I'll see you guys all in my next video soon. Goodbye!